Kia ora. I'm Christina Höppner, Project Lead and Product Manager of the portfolio platform Mahara. Our Mahara team at Catalyst IT in Aotearoa, New Zealand is excited to make Mahara 2504 available to you. This release has gone live on the 30th of April in 2025. This release would not have been possible without the support of our Mahara community. All subscribing organizations contributed financially through their subscription. Several organizations also sponsored features and bug fixes in addition to that, which enhance Mahara nicely. We've had 3 foci for this release. Number 1, we implemented new features for portfolio authors. Some of them I'm going to show to you in this highlight video. We also created a number of new features for administrators so they can efficiently manage their Mahara site and perform administrative tasks faster. Our second focus was making usability improvements. These were the result of our consultation with our community over the last year, as well as the review of the information architecture of Mahara. Recently, I shared an update on that work, as we now have mockups that give a better idea of what Mahara would look like in the future. The link to that video is in the description. The majority of these changes will come in Mahara 2604, and that means that it is going to be in April next year. The third focus was to prepare for these major changes in Mahara 2604. So we laid a lot of the technical groundwork that will help us implement these changes. Let's take a look at the new features in Mahara 2504, or at least a selection of some of the bigger ones. Continuing professional development enhancements. In Mahara 2404, we added the CPD plugin. In this version, we had the opportunity to expand that functionality quite a bit. It is now possible to set up what is called CPD experiences at both the site and institution levels. This helps your portfolio authors structure their CPD activities, especially if they need to come from different areas. They can then see how many hours they have already logged and how many are still outstanding. This graphical overview provides a quick look at all of that information. As you can see, you can structure your experience into categories and subcategories that can require a minimum number of hours and/or a maximum number. It is very flexible in that way. You can also record how many reflections have been made. We have kept the details of the CPD activities where you have access to additional information about the activity. The block can be set up for an entire CPD experience or just for a particular category so that you are flexible in how much you want to share on a particular portfolio page. When you are in details mode of the page, you can add activities directly from your portfolio page once you added the block to it and don't even need to go into the edit mode for that. You can also update details for existing activities. How do you set up one of those experiences? You can do so as site or institution administrator, making it possible to restrict who can see the experiences based on institutions. You can set up as many experiences as you like. Here's one I created earlier. If an experience is already in use, you are notified so you can decide if it is appropriate to update it, for example if you've just made a few spelling mistakes, or if it is better to set up a new experience. Like with Smart Evidence, you can phase out existing experiences by setting them to inactive. That then means that everyone who's already been adding activities against the experience can continue to do so, but others who haven't started on them yet won't see it as an option. In the category setup, you decide how you want to structure the hours that your portfolio authors can or have to collect and whether they are also asked to reflect on some of these activities. You can set up a comprehensive CPD program. Many thanks to Monash University in Australia who sponsored this feature. Combined image and image gallery blocks. When you want to add visual elements to your page, you do not need to decide upfront anymore whether it is only a single image or multiple images. You can add additional images later on to turn a single image easily into an image gallery, to which you can add other images later as well. New icon set using material icons. While we've been going through these previous screens, you might have noticed that the icons look a bit different. As part of our Mahara refresh, we also wanted to change the icon set to give you a new look in that area. The icons are very versatile. We are using the outline icon set from Material Icons in Mahara Core, but you could also choose a different one, for example the solid one. You can still customize your own icons like in the past. Assessment block to support peer and self-assessment. We've had the peer assessment functionality for a few years now. This allows peers to place their feedback or assessment directly into a page in a specific place or even have multiple places available. This then tracks their assessment and they can have specific instructions for each assessment. Thanks to the support from Health New Zealand Te Whatu Ora, we could expand this to now also be available for self-assessments. That makes it easy to see when additions are made to the self-assessment as they are added as a new comment. Additional grading option. When you use the portfolio submission option via groups in Mahara, but want to actually record the assessment result outside of Mahara, you now have an option available to do that. This makes it more transparent for students and lecturers to know where they need to look for that grade information. Copying of outcomes portfolios. Outcomes portfolios make it possible for students and educators to work on structured portfolios collaboratively in a group. They give educators more control over the content of the portfolio, and they also help structure the learning experience around these outcomes more easily that students shall achieve. It is now possible to copy a template outcomes portfolio into other groups without having to go through the setup steps again. Initially, the functionality was developed for individual learning plans and thus didn't require the copying. The sponsor of the copying feature, though, HZ University of Applied Sciences in the Netherlands, is using outcomes portfolios to provide common templates to students and thus needed the template structure to be copyable. Issue escalation. At times, you may run into a problem that results in an error message. We do not display details of the errors on screen to prevent them from being exploited. In Mahara 2404, we made it possible for portfolio authors to report such problems to their site or institution administrator so that they can follow up on that issue. Now we've added the option that administrators can escalate these issues to their own technical support team, or, if it is an issue in Mahara itself, to our team. The details of what is being reported can be changed so that personally identifiable information is not revealed if you send the report outside of your own institution. Some technical information is added to each report automatically, which helps us to know a bit more about your setup. And that's what we then also don't need to ask you anymore. Responses to issues raised are then sent via email. Custom maintenance message. Since you will hopefully be upgrading to this latest version of Mahara soon, you might like to know that you can now set a custom maintenance message that is displayed to your learning community. When you close the site for an upgrade or an update, you can now post a custom message to provide more details. In this video, I wanted to show you a few of our bigger new features and a tiny one at the end. We have added many more enhancements into Mahara 2504 and also fixed issues that you've reported to us. I'd like to invite you now to give Mahara 2504 a go and upgrade your Mahara site so you can make these new features available to your organization to incorporate them into your portfolio practice with Mahara. The new features are listed on the What's New page in the manual for Mahara 2504 and will have more details added. Let us know what you think about these new features and how they can support your practice. You can use our community forums to share your thoughts and also come along to our monthly Mahara Ask Me Anything sessions, for which you can register on our events page.